Do it again, Jake. Jake, come out here and show them what you got here. Dude, exactly. Nailed it. I'm Rich.
I'm Frank.
And it's People, Pints, and Possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. Episode 4, and now we're finally gonna post one. Hey, we're 20%ers.
No, dude, we're well, you have to post the episode to get on the map. But here we are, podcast number 4. Last time we said the ladies were gonna be on though, right? We had a little
Little hiccup.
Apparently we don't tell them what to do.
The moneymaker in my family had to work.
All right. So we're going to get the ladies on to confirm or deny the stories that we've told so far. But podcast number 4, we did the intro. That was the first one, just introducing who we are. My name's Rich Clayton, the CEO of Cal Coast Beer Company, the Vibe Titan here in Paso Robles.
Yeah.
And
Nice
to my
meet
left,
you. Frank, I'll co-host. I'm the Nav. I'm the guy, I guess, that, as we say, dabbles in the back.
and we just leave it there. Episode 2. I don't even know how to respond.
Let me
when you
define
do that.
back, by the way. I
don't.
meant brew
He
house.
meant the back of the brewery.
House,
Yeah,
yes.
different podcast. If you were looking, you might want to change podcasts if
I
that
already
wasn't
see
what you were looking
Beneso
for.
running with that.
People. That was episode 2. People is about building and gathering people and building teams. You need help in this world, and you can't do it alone. So we'll get more depth into that as we move through all of our stuff. The episode number 3 was pints, which Frankie takes care of. What's that, Frankie? What's
Building
a
things.
pints? Building
Building
stuff.
things.
Dude, taking
Don't take that word for granted. It could be anything.
taking raw materials and creating something, taking an idea and making something. You could be an artist, you could be a welder, you could be anything, an author. It's creating something. And today, finally, dun, 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 possibilities. All right, where we've come from, we got people together. We got some money for the brewery. Pints, we built the brewery. The brewery's ready. Frank stayed up all night to get beer flowing out of the taps, and its possibilities. It is time to get some money coming in. Those of you who've opened a business, the saddest part about opening a business from scratch is every check that goes out.
Yeah, no, you're broke. Dust in the wallet, and you're just grateful and pray that somebody walks in that door.
Yeah.
And we figured, I forgot, why we had to open that day.
Why did we have to open?
Let's roll through the story, and I think that'll come up.
Okay. There was a reason we had a hard deadline. So just to set the scene, let's set the scene, define the characters, and move forward in this play, this play of life. You get to contribute a verse. What will our verse be? I guess it's the Cal Coast community is our verse. So
Yeah.
I sidetracked. Set the scene. We're ready. We built the brewery, and here we go. We need to get some money in. First of all, we do not want to pretend like we know everything. You're going to need a lot of stuff. And the first thing that you're going to need is you don't have a reputation. Although in our case, we had a bad reputation.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing.
Just a real part of the story. And we're not blaming people. We're not that type of people. Or we're not, this isn't a negative thing. But we were even
And we'll be
coming
brief,
in.
and everything we talk about,
We'll be
you
brief.
can look up online. So
There's
I don't know if
facts.
we sign
There's
non-disclosures or whatever, but we're going to keep it.
receipts.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
receipts. Recipes. What? That's the E and the I thing on receipts that throws me off. Receipts. So we were coming from the school district. We decided to quit our jobs. That was kind of already a plan, and then some other things happened within the school district. School districts are a tough go. I'm just gonna say, superintendents don't last long no matter where you're at, and people even up in the district offices. Unfortunately, there's a lot of government, things that take place in there, and you don't get to actually help your community or the kids as much as you like the higher you go. So I'm going to leave it at that. But coming from the school district, we got caught in some crossfire.
We sure did. It was a challenge. It was every day. Are you are you kidding me that they're really saying that? What? Huh? It's the cool thing about media is you can say whatever you want and no one fact checks anymore.
No fact check.
No fact check. And this was kind of the beginning of the no fact check era.
this was the very beginning. You could say, gosh, this was 2018,
17, 18, yeah.
17, 18, end of 17, 18. And at this point, social media has just taken off, and you could just, it hadn't to that point where people are using it for manipulation of their own benefit, right? Up to that point, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you go on Facebook, and I wasn't on it then, by the way. I'd never had anything to do with it at that point.
Still not.
It was to connect with your family, right? So people were on there, and up to that point, like your friends and family, you were kind of in this group, and that's what it was. This was the turn where people could just say anything that they wanted, and just to be transparent, we decided to leave the school district, number one, and start this business. And at the same time, there was a transition with some things going on, and people started to pick up and say, we stole money from a school district to start a brewery.
Yeah, and let me give you a little backstory.
I don't know if I'm doing a good enough
Working
job.
in a school district, just real simple. We don't cut checks. We don't write checks. There's not a safe with a bunch of money in it. There's actually departments that report to the county. The county then comes back. The budgets, any kind of outgoing big payments are actually done in what we call a board meeting. Super exciting if you have a chance. Go to your school board meeting. And it's all public knowledge. But people don't know that, and so they sit back and they're like, they stole money and started a brewery. Wait,
Yep.
Hold on.
And I don't want to skip the details of that. You can look up. There's actually
Yeah,
a
it's
DA
boring. Look it up.
investigation. And it
Oh,
has
yeah.
my name and Martha's name. I don't think it has yours, though.
Uh-uh.
I got tagged for cronyism. They said that or what is that? I don't even know what that word. I know chromies when I was a kid. They were the little things on the bike. And if you stole someone's chromies because you were flossing, you put them on. They're the little chrome.
Valve stem caps.
Hell yeah, they
Yeah.
were. Not
Bag 'em.
that. Cronyism, whatever that was, like hiring your friends. It was said that I was unqualified, although I consider myself highly qualified. Came from. I'm not going to defend myself. So either way, the outcome was, in fact, we did not steal any money. That's weird, and never got contacted about it. And I'm going to leave it at this. Logic is good, so none of that ever happened. It
But
didn't
hold
occur.
on. If we did,
We're gangsters.
you'd be the most badass motherfucker.
Dude, so the DA investigation did not find that we stole any money. They never talked to me, but it caught a lot of fire. And so we were starting off this brewery on a bad note, and the story is going to be a positive one. We're never like, woe is me, who gives, we don't give a shit, to be honest with you. What you want is a reasonable shake in life, right? All you can ask for is an opportunity and a level playing field. And so there's a couple pieces I want to take
Well,
off on.
We knew the truth.
We knew the truth.
We
right?
knew the truth. Challenge
Yeah.
accepted. You're not going to phase me. Let's roll.
So people were like, we're never going there. Like that was built with stolen money from a school district, which did not happen. And
By the way, how much money do we create here for the programs and everything
hiring
else?
people. We'll get to the Cowcoast community. We can do more. What's sad about government, we're finding this out at the highest levels right now, is that you can actually do more and benefit your community in a better way, being outside of an entity like a school district or a government, because there's just a lot less restriction, red tape. You could actually just get to the getting without all the politics of everything. Right. But to wrap that up, we did start. I mean, it got crazy. People were my wife was still working at the high school, and somebody took the time to take a picture of my 40th birthday, which we had here. Somebody
We just
posted
got the
online.
building. It was Bones, and we brought in a tap truck.
And they posted or they took a picture offline and put it in. Martha's gonna have to confirm what, because I wasn't working there anymore, and put it in everyone's box at the high school, every teacher's box.
There were the
And it
kids
said-
that didn't get invited to the birthday party, and they got mad.
I know what you're doing, or I know what you did
Like, it
last
was a
summer. I don't
secret.
know what it said. It said something. We're gonna have to get Martha to
We
confirm that part.
celebrated a birthday. Sorry.
By the way, we don't dwell on this. We're telling you because everyone out there is going to have challenges and things that are outside of your control. You cannot control what someone thinks about you. But what you can control and what's important is how you treat people, the amount of respect that you give them when you talk to them, the way you've been, because we knew this. We felt fine, and I'm speaking for both of us, but we had this conversation. because we knew how we treated people. And while they may get that information, it may run wild. At some point, people are going to say, man, that really doesn't make sense to me, because every time I talk to these guys or every time I go over there, they're very welcoming. They're excited about helping the community. They're fired up about what they're doing. They're transparent about where they get their money from. You know, like we said, we refinanced our house. You can track money pretty easy in this world. We're
Yeah,
not
it's
drug
not hard.
dealers.
Well, and mind you, were you ever asked
No.
by anybody?
No one ever even contacted
no
us.
one
That's
even
how far
contacted
fetched
us.
it was.
Like, it was
However, but
you
it was a real
you
story.
didn't talk to us.
It was a real story for some people. It was even on the local station.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go. So, but we're gonna leave that. That's either here nor there. The reality is, you got to be good to people. You gotta. You don't choose how people are gonna respond. You have to control the controllables, and that's that. Possibilities is mindset. The money's coming in, but there's a mindset you have to have, which is, I will not be detoured. And even though there's gonna be obstacles in my way, we're gonna push forward.
We had a mission. We want to get it done. We want to build a brewery. Who doesn't want to do that?
Yep. So we're gonna put that behind us, because at this point, you still gotta open. You gotta build a brand and a logo.
Brand and logo. So can I?
Yeah,
jump
hit
in
it.
on that?
Hit
was
it.
A weak transition.
Dude,
but I
we're
liked
done.
it,
We're done
but-
with that. And by the way, we don't let negativity, but it's a very good part of the story. And we're gonna have more obstacles to come.
Oh yeah.
You're
That
going
was-
to have them.
That was groin kick 1. There might be a couple in this episode.
Let's let them rip. Let them rip.
So brand and logo. So at the time, I was the only one here because you were still finishing up.
I was still working in the schools.
Yep.
I love
And-
schools.
And
by
why
the way.
did you?
Love
Why
kids.
were you still
Love
working?
with kids. I was working because I said, Frank, you're fucking crazy. You have 3 kids at home. And I talked him into this. He was the first person. And we have Jake sitting here. I'm going to get Jake on here. I said this probably before. I'm an idea guy. I know that's a weird way to say it, but you throw out these ideas and then somebody grabs it and is like, fuck yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah,
And
tenacity. Let's get it done.
You came to me and said, we're building a brewery. I quit. And I'm like, oh no, I'm responsible for this now.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel the same way to Jake. Jake came to me and said, Rich, you said podcast, and I bought the equipment. That's what I do. I like push the ball rolling, but I don't always finish it, you know? Jake came and said, we're doing this. I'm going to figure it out. I'm interested. I'm invested. And we couldn't do it without Jake. We're going to get him on here. He's like the Jamie behind the scenes, but he's better, dude. He's got way more flavor, bro.
Good looking. Good
So
looking.
anyways, Frank quits his job. And I'm like, I'm scared shitless. I'm like, I'm responsible for this guy, even though I'm not. You know, he's his own man. I didn't know he was crazier than I was. And so I stayed working because I was like, I'm saving. I saved all my money at that time. Martha and I tried to spend nothing because I thought for sure he was going to come to me and say, I'm broke. He
Yeah.
quit his job early to start this building on his own.
I went to Montana and Craig gave me 5 gallons of Kool-Aid and I'm like, I can see it. I see it happening. It's going to happen. So we just went for it. Now, the hardest part was, who were we? What names? We have, shared documents of a million names we wanted to call the brewery.
Oh, dude, remember my remember my write-ups? I just typed
Oh,
like
yeah.
5
We
pages.
go all day. And then guess what? We don't agree on shit. So it was like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. And then one day I'm like, what about California Coast Beer Co-" And everyone, that is taken. Looked at the trademark patent and all that. Nobody took that name.
Oh, I can tell you where we went from that. Because you're exactly right. I love Sierra Nevada, and it conjures like the Sierra Nevada mountains. It's like hiking, all those
Yeah.
great things. I grew up in Redding, so we love Sierra Nevada no matter what. And I just thought, man, and then 805 was kind of in our area, and so that kind of conjured up like the Central Coast all the way down. And I'm like, man, we need like a feeling. And then we had Thanasi and Jason from Ventura who were investing in us. Thanasi is a surfer and, you know, cool guys. Tessa, they have that vibe. Like they fix up Broncos. And then we had, I used to live in Redding and go abalone diving in Mendocino. Man, I love the North Coast. Frank lives in Cayucas on the ocean. And I'm like, man, it's something about the ocean. Like all of our people love the ocean. I moved here to get closer to it. I love the mountains and the ocean, right? And they kind of come together. And I remember the reality was like, dude, it's about like the California coast, the coastline, that feeling when you get outside, like life is good outside. Like, and really what happened was we said what you said, California Coast Beer Company. Craig added beer company. It's like the California coast feeling. And then when we realized There isn't a fucking brewery named California Coast. There's a bunch of other shit though. There's Cal Coast
Oh my
condominiums,
God,
Cal
it's
Coast Bank, Cal
stupid
Coast
how much is out
Central
there.
Coast Concrete Cutting. We didn't realize we might get stuck in there, but we loved the freaking coast. Craig then told us make sure it says beer company and not brewery because breweries were being taken over by or being utilized by coffee shops, and that was becoming convoluted. Are you a brewery because you make kombucha tea, or are you a brewery because you make beer? So we went to California Coast Beer Company.
And stuck. And it was like we all loved it. So sometimes the simple thing right in front of you, you got to pay attention to. And then in my
was
mind,
simple.
we have to brand it like what's it gonna look like? And I created in my mind, absolutely loved it. Like it was a beach and palm trees and all this coast stuff. And I remember going into Riley, who is an absolute amazing marketer, branding. And I told him my idea, and he sat me right next to him. He's kind of dry, great guy. And he's
It's
like,
to the point. The guy gets
he's
to the
very
point.
to the point.
He
He's
don't like your ideas either. He's a fucking genius.
He
like-
typed my idea in, and he's like, okay, out of these 3,000 Google images, where do you think you'll fall in? And I was like, oh.
Riley, you're coming on with Motif. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. And then he created this whole, brought the grizzly bear in, brought the Central Coast on the arm, brought so much. I mean, that's an whole episode on the logo, but it was eye-opening.
It is, and actually, we will do an episode on the logo with Riley. I met Riley at the chamber, so be involved in the community. That's where I met him. I loved his ideas. I loved the way he was very clean with the work that he did. So we need to get him on because we'll go into depth. We could go an hour about what he created and the hidden things that are going on there. But he eventually brought us something that was in the spirit of what we wanted, but not
100%.
exactly what we would have dreamed up, and it was better.
Yeah, 100% better.
And
Trust
that's
a
people.
professional.
Bring people together, right, and make us better, and we're making each other better. And his logo, the logo that he created with us, represents us, and also I hope it brings a lot of people to him. So we're
Yeah.
very happy with the bear. And if you look at the bear, there's some hidden things in there, but we're gonna do an episode later to talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. So we got branded.
We got branded, and we love it. We're
Yeah.
all like, "Yep," and
There
people see
might
it,
even
they love it.
Be a couple patrons that are permanently branded with our
Brand-
bear.
Dude, we got tats on there. Martha's getting a tat on her booty cheeks.
Yes, once
Only-
we hit a certain mark.
She has a certain mark, so we're gonna talk to Martha about that. She doesn't know I'm gonna bring that up, but I already put that in my yeah. And if you know Martha, tattoos aren't coming lightly.
Mm-mm. I pity the tattoo artist.
All right, so we got brand. We got to do a mad scramble now. We're gonna be open.
We were all exhausted, done, and that was the night. I looked on my calendar, and it was Firestone Invitational the next day.
It sure the hell was.
So now it was like, oh shit, we gotta be open. There's gonna be a lot of beer drinkers in this little town. So we did the mad scramble, and we realized we don't have umbrellas. We don't have places for people to sit.
No.
And our bank account's fairly negative.
It's done. It's actually it's so bad that it was done, and then I had to write how many what do you call them, the agreements, operating agreements.
Yes.
We're like, no, I have to put 20 grand more, and we have to change the operating agreement. I'm now up 1%. No, we have to do this. We have to do that. Oh no, we need 10 grand.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, fuck me, money out, money out. Like you might as well if you know those cartoons where they flip them upside down.
Oh, and shake them.
And just start shaking them. Like, dude, there was nothing left. The pockets were out.
But not one person said enough is enough.
No, hell no.
They
we were
believe just like we did.
like, gotta get there.
And so we did. We got what we ripped over to Rite Aid. Can I say Rite Aid?
Yeah, I
Sure.
don't know.
It was like on sale. They were the most hideous umbrellas.
Rite Aid sponsor us. We did go with your umbrellas to start this thing off.
I don't know if you've been
We
there.
went to Rite Aid. We went to Chris Montero, a local guy, and he got us spools. We roll out these like industrial
Big cable
cable
spools.
and I started sanding. Remember?
Yeah. And,
Days before.
and guys, let me tell you how many nails are in a spool.
And
Sandpaper gone.
just
Gone,
ripping
gone, gone.
sandpaper. Oh,
Yeah.
that's $8, $6. You need ceramic sandpaper, just so you know. If you ever want to do a spool, you need ceramic. It's expensive as shit, but it'll
It
work.
works.
It works.
It does.
So we get the spools down, we throw those out, and if you see the brewery, we're gonna have to throw some pictures up. Jake's getting dialed in. We'll have pictures thrown up at some point, and we had just a few tables and we're ready to go. We had 3 beers.
3 beers.
What are the beers?
So we did a blonde. Always go light, test everything, make sure everything works, all your sanitation, and but I'm gonna backstep. Our
ahead.
first brew, super excited, jumped it, dumped it. Yeah, I'm in my jam. Craig Kuntz looks, he's all, none of that's milled. Son
Craig
of a
Kuntz,
bitch.
Sunriff Beer Company.
So we ordered pre-milled right now because we don't have
Mentor.
a mill. We didn't have a mill at the time, and
We still don't have a mill.
yeah, I was trying not to let.
We're
people
working
know
on that.
but
That's okay.
thanks.
Sorry. Oh God, edit that out. Not Jake. Hey, we're transparent. Jesus.
God.
Hey, but we have fucking good
Yeah.
beer, dude.
So,
don't worry about
couple
that.
couple batches were questionable, didn't really fly, and then we ended up with a blonde, brown, and then we were supposed to have an IPA. We didn't quite
It's
hit,
gonna be delicious.
didn't quite hit numbers, so we had a pale, and it was delicious. And then we jumped back to the blonde, and can we do a side note? The name of the blonde?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dad's Only Friend.
We're trademarking that right now. Martha will not let us put it on there yet. But Dad's Only Friend. We're going back 2 stories right now. I'm just interrupting. but
That's fine.
I gotta
Go.
tell them.
Go.
So
We're only 20 minutes in.
I know we're gonna crush this last part. This is important. We have 2 beer names that we just haven't placed on the right beer that came from Frank's daughters that are freaking unbelievable.
Mhm.
Frank and I are getting to know each other. He goes up there and then he invites me to his house. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're fucking listening, there's no way you've been invited to Frank Panion's house because it doesn't happen.
Very true. Very true.
If you have, come
I put
in.
the
I'll buy you
intro
a
in
beer.
Bert.
You tell me 3 facts about the inside of this man's house, and I will fucking buy you a beer. And Carmen, you count. All right. So
100%.
this dude invites me to his house, and Martha and I, well, we don't go anywhere either. We just work all the time. But
True.
we go over to his house and knock on the door, and Ava comes to the door, and Soph, I believe,
Oh, yeah.
and they say, "What are you doing here?" Like they've never seen a grown man and his wife at their house because no one's ever invited. And I say, "I'm here to is your dad or is Frank here?" I said,
Invited for a barbecue.
you know, and they go, "Are you my dad's friend?" With a total at the high at the end. Are you my dad's friend? Like as in huge question mark.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "Uh-oh, this guy doesn't have friends. Am I going to be having lotion? And like, what are we doing, Martha?" And so this is the best line ever. This is the beer name. Ava turns and says, "You got to get in here. Dad has a friend." And it's his birthday. She tells me, "Are you here for my dad's birthday?"
It
Yells for
was.
Carmen. No, Carmen runs. I got all 3 of them in front of me, which are my favorite girls in the world. And they're like, "You're my dad's friend." They're all quizzing me, and they're like, "Are you my dad's friend? This is Dad's only friend." They're
Yeah.
introducing each other. They're introducing me to each other, the girls, as Dad's only friend. Hey, this is hey, Dad's only friend. Are you staying for his birthday? I'm like, holy shit, he didn't even tell me it's his birthday. I don't even know it's his birthday. So I am Dad's only friend the entire night. They're like, "Dad's only friend, do you want a beer? Dad's only friend, are you staying for dinner? Dad's only friend, do you like cake?" Dad's only friend is a beer name.
Absolutely.
And,
But we got to find the
that's-
right time to release
We talked
that
about
one.
Rich Squirrel. I think there was one more in there, but Rich Squirrel, yeah. And so Dad's only friend. So we meet Frank. We're ready to go. He's got this thing dialed in. We got the beers going, and that has to be one of the beer names. By the way, we don't name beers. Like, I hate to say this, but we're just not the guys who fucking go out of their way to be like, I don't know. I'm not putting it down. I don't want to say that, but like, if a name pops up and it's like it grabs you by the throat because it means something to you, then it gets a
Name
name.
it.
But other than that, we are constantly like focused on the classic style and the type of beer, and we're not into like the kitschy. We don't want a beer to, and I'm speaking in your world right now, the Pines, But I don't want to go sell a beer and talk to somebody about some bullshit name that I made up that doesn't mean something to us.
Yeah, no, our first 2 years it was blonde, lager, Belgian wit.
Pale
Like you knew what you were getting.
IPA.
Yeah.
And people are actually, what's sad, it's not sad because people recognize it. The truth fucking comes through. It's revealed in time, right? People will reveal themselves in time. Big companies are grabbing onto this concept now, and they're like, oh, basic IPA. Like, no, we're cool. We're going back to our roots. Like, no, you're
Like
not.
California
You ran out of your
IPA.
you ran out of your cool fucking names, and instead you decided to tap into what's real, and what's true, and you tried to
All
be
that shit
authentic.
aside, it just better be quality coming out of that glass.
Get it good, yeah. And that's Frankie's world. I worry about the stories, the people. He worries about the pints,
Yeah.
and then we get together, and Martha really crushes the possibilities. But
So it was very
So let's get
basic
back.
when we opened.
Yep.
And we didn't even have like the little things you don't think of, like
you don't own.
music.
The music is actually the stereo from my garage.
Yeah, we many a times, and it was you realize people want that noise in the background,
Yep. No
But then-
TVs.
but then it becomes well, shit. What is that supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
What's my crowd? And there were times we had people hired, and all of a sudden, we walk into gangster rap in the brewery or metal, and it was kind of like, oh shit. And I'm new to all this, the Spotify,
Yeah.
and Rich sits down and he goes,
Calco's
I'm
Jams.
creating Calco's Jams. Catch it on Spotify. It's like 7 days of music.
It is. It's the Calco's Jams. I knew that here's where our team, it's like it means something to us, is I wanted to tag everybody with something. Like when I go in, and I've got some complaints. They're okay that we're a little country heavy, but Paso's a little country heavy.
Know your audience.
And so you got to know your people. If we were on the beach, we'd probably be more Fortunate Youth heavy, right? Or something like that. Like I
reggae.
know the crowd. But it's a little something for everyone, and it is the most DJ eclectic music that you've ever heard in your life. But if you want to be on there, then step your game up and come and talk to me and tell me what song you think will benefit our culture, our vibe, our possibilities, And so we start with music. We got the Calco's Jams, but they're bumping on my stereo from my garage. Like the sick ass Yamaha $50
Plugged
fucking
into your phone.
good guys speakers pointed. Like if I point it to the right, then the people on the left get no music.
Right.
If the people on the left need music, no music over here.
Yeah.
People on the right, oh, you're vibing to this jam. I'll point the speaker to you.
Yeah.
And here we go. That's how we. I like this song. Oh, here you go. There's a song, dude. So we really have no TVs at the time as well. We got the Calco's Jams going on my garage radio. That's a real story, and that lasted for like about 6 months. We have no food.
No, we didn't have food.
Oh, the TVs. I have to go back. Everyone who says I'm an idiot and that I was wrong, you're right. You are
Yes.
correct. I was in here like, dude, we're gonna just have conversation. We're not gonna watch TVs. I don't want people staring at a damn TV. We're gonna have conversation, and we got fucking TVs all over this place now.
Oh God.
You can do both. You can do both. You don't have to. This is
They're
a life
on mute
lesson.
though. They're on mute. Like if you're ADHD and you need to focus on something goes quick, there's a TV.
Hold on, this is a life lesson for both of us, and we haven't talked about this. You don't have to beat your guests over the head or your people, your team, with what you have. There's a way to get it without like being an asshole about it, right?
True.
If you want people to have conversation, you don't have to say, I'm never putting on, the Super Bowl, right? You can do both. You can find a way to be who you are and still support the things that they love too.
Right.
And so we do have TVs because people like TVs. And don't do stupid shit people hate. That's the fucking Savannah Bananas, right? But don't do shit people
Don't
hate.
fight
So
'em.
people love TVs. We were able to get TVs. I don't even know if we have this on this episode because, we haven't even opened yet. So let's keep going.
Let's keep on track.
But somebody bought a lifetime membership, which gave us money for
Oh, Lord.
TVs
Okay,
in the
but
first
hold
week.
on. So-
Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep us on track.
We got tables. We freaking
catch us
got our
back
brand.
up.
We got our brand. We got tables. We
3 beers.
3 beers, but we got to give a shout out to Martha. Our merch, all of a sudden you need to sell a hat or two.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at all the money in the hats. Look at all this. No, it's not a big deal.
I love this part. You think you're the shit, you're not, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm talking to me.
Well, you got to put a brand on something.
So I'm like,
people
I'm gonna
wear it
do the
around.
merch. Like I know the merch. Like I'm gonna do this. I got the merch, and so the merch has never been more horrible than when I was in charge of merch
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
because,
It was bad. Look at his shoes.
In
Like,
fact,
that was
dude.
his merch.
dude, come on, man, these are nice.
I'm
I do not
joking.
shave my legs. When you
I'm
get old, your hair
joking.
doesn't grow down here. I don't know why that's a thing, but
Yeah.
that's real.
Can you edit
real.
that out? That's scary.
Yeah, no, it's real. Hey, fuck it. Be who you are, right? Unapologetically you. So merch, Martha's killing it. My merch takes a late night fee. Martha's merch says Paso Robles, G. So my merch did not even have Paso Robles on the fucking shirt. People would walk in.
Oh,
We
had a
haven't opened yet.
Bear
but
and Cal Coast.
we had a bear in Cal Coast, and I thought it was sick. Now the shirt still exists.
It's
But-
the OG.
Hey, dumbass. People from Paso Robles are like, where does it say Paso Robles?
And we didn't have a comeback. We just stood there like,
You know what I said?
fuck.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. If you buy all these, the next one will have it on.
Could I interest you in 75
2 for 1.
shirts of all different sizes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this community's tight, and they were.
They're pissed. They're like, where the fuck is... So Martha, needless to say, took over the merch, and the merch crushes. Our merch game is freaking solid,
Oh,
and it
it's
has
stupid.
nothing to do with me. In
We
fact,
walk on
this
the,
guy's
we walk
rocking
on the
new
beach, and my
shirt.
kids are always, Dad, there's the bear. There's the bear. It's like, hey, act like we've seen it. Act like we've seen it.
Yep.
And we get pictures all over the world with
We
the bear.
get pictures all over the world. Yeah.
So it's branding. You got to spend some freaking time on your branding when you start
Yep.
your business.
And
make it right.
And we're not saying money towards like
No.
people who don't know you. We're saying you sitting down and talking about who you are. And we're going to walk you through those steps of purpose statement, core values, commitments to action, all that stuff
100%.
later. But you really have to think about the essence of why the hell are you bringing. And then we've hit this before, but people gloss this over. You know, like Jake's sitting here in his free time helping us because he believes in what we're doing and he believes that he's valuable in that process. And if
Yeah, and
he
Jake,
didn't,
we're gonna pay you, brother.
if he did, he's not even getting paid. He's like, can I put this time down now that you said that?
Absolutely.
But if he didn't believe that it was going to be something better and it couldn't make him better, he wouldn't be here. And so we believe in that. And how that comes from the merch is, why are we all here? Like, are we here to hang out? We talked about the pub, but the merch has to represent that too. And it's who you are. Your branding has to represent that too. The logo on the wall, the way people feel the environment, the music that you're playing, the beers that you're serving. We cut old doors out to make those beer signs, and we're ready to rip. We do have one little piece that's missing from this before we get open. We're setting the stage. We got a guy named Doug Burkett.
Dougie, oh, fresh.
Dude,
yes.
our little brother.
So if you ever come to the campus, there's 3 buildings, big brew house, big tap room, and then we have this kind of, I don't know what, 800 square feet, kind of random building where good old
Yeah.
Tozy would pull motors and work in.
We'll throw a picture up right now.
And there's some story. Oh, actually, the other episode we talked about.
Jake will throw up a picture. Jake, boom.
Picture done. So you can see
Jake's
it.
like, are you fucking serious? Writing in his notebook.
This cowboy walks up, and I think we were like setting the bar up or something, and
No. We were not. We were not there. We were doing some random shit. There was a gate right here, and he popped up on the gate because he came a little earlier, but he ties into when we actually open.
yes.
He popped up on the gate, and he said,
Hey, I want to put a winery in here.
"What are you guys doing?" We're like, "We're putting in a brewery." He's like, that's awesome." He might have had a few drinks.
Doug?
Yeah,
Really?
Doug.
Are
Do you
you
know?
sure?
Yeah, Doug. Yeah, Doug. He might have had a drink or so. He was okay. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
irrelevant. Irrelevant. We walk him in and we give him a tour.
Yeah, place was a shithole.
It
It's
was
like-
horrible. It was, you know, like when you're doing a remodel in your house and it looks at its worst, but you're like, in 2 days, this is gonna look fucking sick.
But all the shit from the brew house, because we're trying to make it nice, is sitting in this room.
We hit
It was bad.
We hit it in the building next door.
Yeah, and he walks in, he's like, I want to open a winery.
He took a look around.
And I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy. Have fun later. Here's my email. Next morning, I have a full contract from this son of a bitch.
By the way, now that we know and love Doug, there's no fucking way Doug wrote that contract.
No.
If he did, I owe him an apology and a beer. We'll have Doug on. Doug's gonna come on.
Absolutely. You'll enjoy Doug.
And so Dougie, tell the story. Frank and Doug are like two peas in a fucking deranged marriage where everybody fucking drinks and has a good time.
Yeah, my liver doesn't keep up with Doug, but yeah, I do have fun.
That's your boy. I don't dislike Doug. Doug and we
You
work
like
well
Doug,
together.
though.
I love Doug.
Yeah,
we
okay.
love Dougie.
You
No,
make it sound like you don't like
he's
him,
like, you
and
can't put
then
that on
I'm like,
podcast.
yeah,
No,
sure.
I didn't want it to sound like that. Frank and Doug, they vibe on like their vibe, and then Doug comes in and he adds like this special added piece
Vino Cowboy.
that we were missing, and we didn't even know it, dude. He brings the vibe. I try to be the teacher. He's like, oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because I'm so serious about, as you know through the podcast, they're both going to talk shit about me when they come on. But
To you, too.
Dougie, what a blessing to have this guy.
Yeah.
What did he do? He said he came through?
Came through. But I don't want to go through the whole thing. So I think that's his episode.
Oh,
But
there
yeah,
you go.
He committed, and he built a beautiful winery. And there's just so much to talk about there. But we are very grateful because now we have a little bit more income coming in. And now our investors' ears are starting to perk up a little bit. Like, okay, maybe these guys aren't complete fools. They're trying to navigate on how to get money in.
Absolutely.
So
We not only have, so now we have something unique. This is good, is because we're going to the investors, which Frankie saw. But this is a good idea too, is at this time when Doug comes in and he has the possibilities and he follows through and he's going to help us, which is tremendous. We're very thankful. It adds a new vibe to what we're doing, and we're not your normal brewery. And I'm not putting down breweries, but now we're going to be a brewery that has, at this time, a shared space. And it's a pain in the ass, by the way. This is a pinch point. Frank
this
does
is
all the
new with
ABC.
ABC, like I think it was somewhere in Palo Alto, or like it was a super new thing on how to share an open space.
Yep.
And we fought for a while and finally got it. Now there were some silly rules like this can go here, couldn't go there. But
Dude, Doug's going to tell the story of the rail, and we're going to get some good stuff. But I do want to say, like, you have to be innovative in what you're doing. And so we had the brewery going in. We now have a winery that's getting ready to go. We're kind of right there to get ready, and he's working on it. And then we're going to add a separate food place. Before that, I hate to say ahead of your time, but we were going to be one of those early adopters of, at this time in 2018, we were hoping to be open. 2019, it's going on. Early 2019, we're becoming the space where all these different people can come together and get different offerings, and we're just going to do the beer at that time. So Doug comes in, we like you said, and the investors are pumped because you're going to get some regular revenue, which we're going to talk about how that changes over time. What's good now is not good later, and the investors. At the same time, we're starting to get open, and at this time, we do open. So we got to talk about that. Like,
Yeah,
we open.
we do.
So we open at...
I'm kind of fuzzy on that because it was kind of that was a rough, just holy shit, this is happening.
It was crazy. So I'll just walk you through opening, and Martha's going to help a lot. But now you need POS systems. You need everything going. We're getting the bathrooms dialed in. You're doing all the little shit. Frank's making sure the beer flows. And we do open, and people come in because it's the Firestone Beer Festival. We love and respect. A little piece about beer. We learned from Craig Kuntz, and that's the only mentor that we'll have that introduced us to the craft beer industry. And there isn't a negative thing to say about anyone, only positive. And Firestone had this great event, the Invitational, and people came to Paso to go to this event. In fact, they sell it out all the time.
Yeah.
It's badass.
Super cool.
And so people come to California Coast Beer Company, and they did. We opened without there wasn't a thing in the newspaper. We
Soft
didn't go
opening.
promote it. We didn't even barely have Instagram.
We did soft.
And people came in, and they started to buy the beer. And by the way, it's the first run of everything that we're doing. And so where we are now and where we were then are not the same. But I can tell you this, they enjoyed it. And they enjoyed it so much that in our first week, First of all, I'm going to talk about beer club memberships because we fucking crush those. Like, it's our people, the Cow Coast community. And we didn't know it, by the way.
Well,
We
you
didn't
got
know that. We didn't.
$5 pint. Come on.
We were like, let's have some beer club memberships. And we're talking about it. And I read this book, which I do. This is why Doug and Frank talk shit about me. And you're going to listen to that later. I read this book and I'm like, you got to have three things. I studied it. You got to have a low one. You got to have the middle one that's a really good value. You got to have this outrageously audacious, like crazy one. And I said, let's just put a membership, lifetime membership at $2,500. So we had the original membership, or we had the low one, the middle one, and this crazy one. And this dude walks in. Are you calling someone right now? Dude, this guy right now
It's
is on his
low
phone.
right now. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but
Are you tuning out?
we're getting a beer run right now.
Oh, okay. BEERRUN, beer run. This is a good part, and this kind of
what
leads
do you
to
want?
where we go.
Mountain IPA or X or
I'm gonna do the pale, yeah, please.
Pale,
Oh
okay.
God, I'm gonna be done here. This is what this guy does. His
My Friday
his hey, Rich's Friday
is your Monday.
is a fucking his Friday is my Monday, and my Friday is a Tuesday. So he has two Fridays. We need shirts that say it's Rich's Friday, which is Tuesday, because Martha and I take the slow days off, and that's a whole nother fucking story. But where I was before Frank got on his phone was
I apologize.
Ken
for the
Cameron.
phone
No,
thing.
you're good. No, I'm just talking shit. That's what we do around here.
I feel like it's a
Ken
it's
Cameron
well
came
worth it.
in, and he is our first lifetime member. And this dude walks in the first week. We're gonna have Ken on and his wife Denise. They start the Cow Coast community, and Ken Cameron comes in and says, "I want to buy a membership," and we're so pumped. And he says, "I said, okay, here's all the things you get. You get this, you get that. We'll go in. We'll have a whole beer club membership thing because we crush it." And we explain it, and he's like, "No, I want to do the lifetime membership. $2,500. We just barely opened. We're open a week. People are coming in. Money's coming in. We're looking at each other like this is crazy."
Well, and mind you, can I say one?
Go ahead. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
I'm not. I'm. This is Major Lieutenant Colonel Ken. Like he's military to the bone, and he's in here drinking with his wife and believing with us, and that's important because I don't want to piss this man off.
See, Frank knows the military guy, and I know him as the greatest human being I've ever met. and
Which
the
he
nicest
is,
guy.
but
No,
he's
I don't. I'm not.
also
not
the size of your front door.
He sure is.
Yeah, and I'm
America
like,
is safe with Ken on duty.
Yes, sir.
And so Ken says, "No, I want the lifetime membership. I've done my research. I like the beer. And obviously we're just starting. We talk about all that. Where everything's brand new. I like you guys. I like what's going on here. I want you to charge me $2,500." And Martha will come in, and I look like this. I don't even know that we can charge $2,500. I don't
Yeah.
think. By the way, we've stopped these memberships now because they became so popular, which
Yeah.
we didn't know. But Ken is the first one, and he signs up, and we start to get this
OG.
positive momentum. And we start to do these things, and we're open, and people are here, and they're enjoying our product.
But how about he signs up when we're so excited?
Oh, this is great. He'll tell this better. Go ahead, tell the story.
We were like, here's a hat, here's a shirt, here's more hats, here's do you want
wanna
to brew? Do you like?
You want a tank to take home with you? Like,
He
we're so
finally
pumped.
looks at us and he's like, "You guys need to stop. You need to stay in business."
I need you to stay in business. Like, I
just
invested here.
$2,500.
Well, he did the math. He'll tell you. I don't want to speak for him, but he's done the math, and
He's
it
a
was like
smart
5
man.
years in beers. He gets his money back with all the perks that we offered.
So he's about there right now.
I no, he's over it. He's
Good-
over it.
son of a
Every
bitch.
time, Ken, if you're out there, every time you drink,
It's on
we
us.
lose money. It's on us.
It's on us.
Well played, my friend. Well played.
Well played.
If it was a stock, Ken got in
Crushed it.
early.
Crushed it.
He got in early. So we have all of this momentum going. And then as you do in business, every time something is going good, it turns. And so we have another challenge, which is at this point, somebody,
Groin
With-
kicker number 2.
right? We're going to get kicked in the nuts one more time is we got to buy out somebody. And so we've got to get some money together when we really haven't made any money. And so we've got to buy out an investor and find more money so that they can be better off than when they came, and we can be better off when they left. So We're out there, and you know what Frank and I had to do is go from a larger percentage in the company, and that's the biggest thing is like, what are you gonna do right now? You're going to go get a loan? That's not possible.
Yeah, no,
You're
let me tell you, the banks love giving small business loans out to businesses
yeah that
after
are
you're 37 years into your business.
yeah you can get a new business loan after you've done it for your entire life.
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
correct.
what?
So we have to go find a way. And so what we have to do at this time is restructure what we own and the amount that we own. So what you think you're going to own in the beginning turns into a lot less. And we had this really good conversation, which is why would we worry about that when like, okay, like 100% of something that or 50% or 33 doesn't matter if you don't have a successful business that's moving forward, that's you know where you want it to be. So anyone in life, like if you're out there and you're saying why would you get this and I get this, focus on getting to where you want to be, and the percentage doesn't matter because 10% of a badass freaking company that goes off
Yeah.
is much better than 50% of a shit company that's not going
No,
anywhere
hey,
or doesn't exist.
I was a math teacher. 51% of zero is still zero.
So we restructure. We're selling a dream, right? So our dream has to come through, and we just opened. You know, we're not open that long, and we got to restructure everything, and we got to, you know, repay, you know, people and do all this stuff, and we do. We make it through that and push through, and so just when you get through that, welcome to a couple of nut kicks in a row. We got winter time, which we didn't know, and we'll gloss over, but we'll talk about that later. Is in this hospitality business, December, January, February, like
Slows.
you don't make any money.
You
Weather
guys are
sucks.
buying Christmas presents, and then January rolls, and everyone does the, am I going to drink for January?
Oh, dry January.
Dry
What a sad month.
yeah, freaking quitters.
Frank
but
tries to
that's all
drink
right.
for you. He
I
tries to.
do. But it works out only because we now have a plan. We know
Yep.
what comes in those months. And
Absolutely.
And if you're out there in the hospitality industry, you know exactly what we're talking about. It just happened. We opened right when that happened.
And not only is winter hit right around the corner, and Martha will tell it better because she's the one who had to read all the rules to us.
Ugh.
But
The
8 months.
sniffles came.
We opened May of 2019.
Uh,
I want you to hear this, which is essentially June, right? It was like May. It was like the end, like the 31st, the last day, Firestone Festival. Boom. So we have June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and 9 months into it, in March, 10th month, COVID hits.
COVID. Yeah, hey, didn't see that coming. That
Holy
was
shit.
not in our business plan, by the way.
You know, it's weird. You don't have a business plan where in your first year you're going to shut down for like months at a time.
100%.
So the people that we had hired a couple people at this point. We've worked most of the shifts and done everything and continue to work and been here every day, which you have to do. But
if
COVID
it's your
hits,
baby, you're gonna love it. We had a good time.
and we actually had our first concert. There's a good story because this is where the K Brush Brown came from. We had our first concert, and Kevin had helped us. You know, Kevin Brush is a local guy. We'll have the Brushes on here. They had helped us, you know, without going into that, set up and get this concert running. And
Might be a beer named after him too. By
there
the way.
may be a story in that, but we don't have time today.
Sorry.
We're going to get the whole
Okay.
family on. And so we have our first concert, which is the right before St. Patrick's Day. And what happens is they shut down the world right before St. Patrick's Day in the Central Coast. That's Jake's birthday. He's pointing at us
March
right now.
14th, 16th.
16th.
That's when
They
it was.
shut it down, and everyone is closed. And so now I want you to. I'm going to take you through this. We just barely opened. We don't even fucking know what we're doing. We had to buy out somebody as we're going, and on the same point, we ran into winter, so we're out of money. There's not positive revenue coming in because we didn't start with a whole summer and spring to go. And on top of it, COVID shuts us down.
But hey, the cool thing is, you can still pay your bills because those kept coming.
You know, I love oh no, I love the world. The media told us.
Everything
I
is
saw,
shut down, but the mortgage is still there.
Frank, that's weird.
The loan's still there.
$300,000 in tanks. Did you get bills for those still or no? Because that's weird.
COVID didn't hit that
I
side of the
thought
house.
everybody was gonna pause for that. Like your business was gonna
Nope.
be fine.
Nope. Weird. PG&E, and we still got charged.
So we get hit with COVID. All the bills still came. Like I didn't see anything that said you don't have to pay.
Not at all.
And so what do? Well, you should shut down by now. Anyone could shut down. Listen, if you're out there, that's the possibilities, the mindset. If
And they
you
did.
if you want to shut down, then shut down. If you're out there and you say, well, all these things happen and they're not fair, right? Fair, fuck fair. Nothing's fair in the world, right?
You fight for it.
All these things are out of my control. Well, let's dig in and let's talk about the things that are in our control. So what did we do?
We went after it.
We went gangsta.
We did. Got a tap truck.
Dude, we called Todd, my boy,
Shout
who was at the
Todd.
40-year-old birthday party. You know Todd Squirrel? Dude, he's a BMX racer doing his thing.
Rad.
We're getting
Still
rad.
rad.
It's out getting rad. Todd's coming on. Got to have Todd.
Oh,
he's
God, that's
he's
gonna be
also
a long
invested.
one.
And so we go out and we borrow a tap truck. Todd's tap trucks are shut down. He drives it over from Fresno. We fill that mofo with
Yeah. fucking-
beer.
We have plenty of beer.
What'd you do?
We were the ice cream man of beer. We'd post, we're coming around this neighborhood. People be on their lawn chairs out front with their crowlers.
ice cream paint job. We need to have a story. So we need to invite Jeff Gallagher's neighborhood
Yes.
because they all waited. Neighbor Craig, shout out to Neighbor Craig.
Everybody.
They waited in their lawn chairs in the cul-de-sac.
Yep.
And we drove that beast over there with the Corvette 350 in it and poured beers. They would all wait with their growlers. We gave
But I
free
sat in the back
growlers.
because we were 6 feet apart.
Sure did. Yes.
did.
We were compliant, you know.
Yes.
And
100%.
I'll be damned if we're gonna worry about our business being successful,
Yeah.
but we're gonna make sure that we follow those rules right there. Forget your house having a second mortgage. You should follow the rules. So we're gonna do a whole COVID show because what we did in COVID was gangster. Because we had no choice. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
you know what's the best
built for it.
motivator? The best fucking motivator in the world is necessity.
Absolutely.
Necessity. Like we have no other choice.
And these
Our
beers
choice
are
is
not coming.
to go out of business, not have our investors get paid back, and they know this. The people who are out there, and I hate calling them investors because they're our friends. Don't do business with your
that
friends
sounds
unless they're
wrong.
great
I like,
people.
I like where you're going with that. They
Yeah,
shouldn't
no,
be
they're our
investors.
friends, but
No, they're people that believed in us.
believe, fuck yeah, they did. And so it's like we're gonna sell our houses to give them their money back. We would have at that time, you know. And so instead of doing that, though, let's not succumb to it. Let's go out there. Let's be gangster. Let's put. We're gonna talk about this in depth, but we went to every party. We went underground parties. You drove to the pier of Pismo, in Pismo, and sold beers.
Sold beer on
like,
the, yeah.
but at this point, let me tell you something. We noticed something weird. If I hand you a beer to go, I have to put a lid on it and put tape on it. This beer's to go. You can go somewhere, but you can't stay here. People were taking their beer and going to the tailgate of their truck and drinking it in the street.
In front of our brewery.
Where
They're
there's
lined up on the curb. They're sitting on the curb drinking beers, and I'm sitting
How's
there
your
going,
ABC permit work in the street of Railroad?
"Mom, we're like all trained in alcohol. Like, I don't oh, we put them out front?
And so that's when we said we're going to do whatever it takes. And we told people, here's your beer to go. Wherever you go is up to you. We did not unstack chairs. We did not break rules. But
We did not.
people used to kind of just stay back in
We
the
do kind
back.
of have a cool lower area.
Yeah, we
where-
have a spot. And listen, it's out of necessity. We love the community. We love the city. We love the people that work here. We were not disrespecting them. The state of California, shit, we love California too. May not love everything that they're doing, but you have to survive. And when there's a choice whether you're going to survive and your dream is going to be alive, we
you have
choose
to
it.
do it. Yeah, absolutely.
And so,
And we didn't force anybody.
no.
And some people got angry, and is what it is. Like, we have to keep the doors open. We're
Absolutely.
gonna
And
fight
so
all the way to the end and not hurt anybody.
there were challenges in there, but we actually started once COVID reopened and Paso caught fire and Los Angeles and San Francisco were closed. We were twice as busy. We got down to $1,000 in our entire bank account. You said something to me when we were talking about this. How low is your own household?
$7.
$7.
That's a 5 and 2 ones.
Or 7 ones for those of you doing math at home.
Or a bunch of
Or a
quarters. We can
10
do
if you
that
give
game.
me 3 back.
It was no, that was a thing. And I remember my wife looking at me and I'm all, honey, we got this.
Right.
And then going in the garage going, what the fuck?
Absolutely. And we thought we were fucked, and then we started coming back, and we needed more people. Excuse me. We needed more people, and we knew that we were busy, and we were like, man, we might actually make this thing.
We did.
And there's a concept that Frank talked about earlier. I think this leads to kind of the conclusion of where we're at now is when we had first started, we needed some people. We got so busy that we took some people in, and they weren't necessarily, it wasn't their fault. We just didn't know who we were. And now that COVID had happened and all these things had happened, we had to sit down after COVID and say, what is Calcosphere? Dude, can we do this at least?
Would
Here,
have
hold
been
on.
cool if you did. Oh, sharing.
Dude, this is an important step
Sharing's
here.
good.
There you go. Cheers, brother.
I didn't.
Cheers.
Right
Hold on. This is
Oh,
good. This is
cheers.
the end.
Absolutely.
Because this is important. This is going to lead to the next portion is we knew that, in fact, I'm going to need snacks for this.
Oh, the snack
Oh, you
drawer
didn't
finally
know?
got opened.
You didn't know? Oh, this drawer, we hand out goldfish to the kids, so might as well hunt some to Frank.
Yeah, free.
Um,
Free, by the way.
Here's what we knew. We knew that we had been through all this shit and we barely escaped with, ourselves intact, and that we had to really define. We had people pints and possibilities, but we did not know what it meant. And so now we're going to sit down and we're going to define what the hell that means and what it really means to us, because we made it. We were almost done, and we could go in forever, and there's a lot of people that are going to come up. Tommy came in, and our Calcos community starts supporting us. Tommy called all his people and told them, and this is going to be a whole nother episode of COVID. And Frank, people bought memberships early.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even want to. That story is a 40-minute story about us calling them.
And memberships involve free crawlers and growlers, and
They
during
hadn't
COVID,
even.
They wouldn't even use them. They're like, nope, I'm
Nope.
paying.
They hadn't even got their new. They hadn't even got the perks of their original membership, and we were asking them for another one because we didn't have enough money. And so that's the Calcos community. We're going to talk about that. But as you come on the other side of anything, trials and tribulations, all of us have been through some hard shit.
Yeah.
You reevaluate who you are.
And I don't want you to walk away from this thinking it was a woe is me kind of deal.
Hell
on this.
no.
It's possibilities. Like, yeah, freaking bring it. Another challenge. Let's go. How do we overcome it? What do we do? And you have somebody with you, or maybe you're alone. You have to step back, marinate, and how can I move forward? It's all about moving forward. And did we do it right? Well, we're sitting here right now. Could we have done some things different? Maybe. So I just think, sorry, it's freaking Mike.
I'm crunching.
No, I crunched
Oh.
earlier. That was probably not a good thing. But
No, hit it, Frankie.
possibilities, once again, is everything in your life. It could be a marriage, it could be raising a family, it could be a business. What are the possibilities? How do you get there? And the second you get knocked down, do you get back up and keep moving forward? Or do you, woe is me, and I'm going to go do something else? And if your passion is truly in, like ours is, this brewery, there's not a goddamn thing that's going to come that we're not going to overcome.
I think that's a hell of a way to end it right there. Shit,
Yeah.
Appreciate you. We made it. We're so excited. And guess what? The sky's the limit, because that was only it wasn't even up to year one. And now moving forward, we have people, pints, possibilities. Next time we see you, we're going to talk about that. We'll get the ladies in there.
Yeah.
And how we defined ourselves and how we created the core values and the commitments to action and the people that we brought in who have taken us to a whole nother level we didn't understand. So,
And helping them understand how to get there.
yep.
Love it.
This. All right, brother.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
All right. On that note, let's have a good weekend. In? Clap. What we got? Geriatric Jake over there. What are we doing, buddy?
Dude, Jake, you all right, dude? Don't break grandma's. Oh, God. Use your legs, bro.
Use those thigh muscles. I know the eye's bad. Your thighs have to be good. Oh.